Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Infinite Abilities Podcast. I am your host, Nick Yerhart, and we are here to encourage each other to find our own unique abilities. Let's go. All right, everyone. So on today's episode of the Infinite Abilities Podcast, we have Giselle, and I got to speak to her a couple weeks ago, and she is just incredible, and I can't wait for her to share her story with you because it's powerful, just like we all have powerful stories, and I want to encourage more people to share them. So, Giselle, can you tell the audience a little bit about yourself?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much, Nick. Thanks for having me. I
Of
loved
course.
meeting you last week. Oh, about me. Well, I am in New Jersey. I'm a mom of three. I have three teenagers. And so I have a
Wow.
lot on the
Yeah.
plate.
Oh
Um,
boy.
yeah, right. I'm a creative coach and publishing strategist. So I have my company, ReadyWriter Services. I help people write their books, edit, publish, everything concerning books from start to finish. That's what I do. I serve in my church. I love God. And
Me
yeah,
too.
and this is why I'm Spanish. So, I also speak Spanish, I write Spanish, read in Spanish. And what else can I say? Yeah, I just love what I do. I enjoy
That's
it,
awesome.
and yeah, and then just, I'm grateful. I'm grateful to be able to do it.
So, what would you say like you went through in your life that kind of got you on the path that you're on?
Oh, yeah, that's a great question. I was unemployed. That'll do it, right?
Yep.
Um,
Yep.
I was in I was in banking for 10 years, and I had 35 people under me. And one day I get a call that my position is eliminated. I had to find somewhere else to go in the bank, right? So, you had two options. You could either leave with a compensation package, or you could stay and just find out who'll take you. That's pretty much what it was. And so I was relentless about staying at the bank. I tried everything, and it landed me in New Hope, Pennsylvania, which is about an hour and a half away from where I live because I'm in South Jersey. I had to drive an hour and a half to work, from work, 6 days a week because it was a 6-day a week branch. The wear and tear on my car was crazy. My kids were little at the time because we're talking about 2013. So my kids were little at the time. I had just given birth not too long ago to my youngest. So yeah, it was horrible, Nick. Like, it was probably one of the worst seasons, right? And so I couldn't do it anymore. I wanted to be present for my kids. I wanted to watch them grow up, right? So I decided to quit, but I didn't have a backup plan. I didn't have, like, hey, this is what I'm going to do. I didn't apply to other jobs, right? Most people would do that. I did not.
Yep.
And so I resigned, and I just didn't know what to do. I tried an in-home daycare. I tried a transportation business. I actually worked at a daycare eventually because I was tired of trying things that just weren't working. And in the daycare, interesting things happened, and I was let go. And so that's where I was like, I just sat down in my room, and I'm like, what am I going to do? Like, what am I supposed to do? Right. I wanted to start, now it's 2017. I wanted to start a blog, and I love writing. So I'm like, I want to do that. And towards the end of 2017, I had a friend who did a challenge for women to encourage them to discover their purpose. So I joined the challenge. I did it. And at the beginning of 2018, she says, I'm going to work with a small circle of women to help them get on that path. So I wanted to work with her. She pushed me to start that blog. In July of 2018, I launched my blog. I wrote my first book. And that kind of caused like a ripple effect, right? So I had another
Yeah.
friend who was like, I need to write my book. And I had a telemarketing job at the time, and she's like, and I was just like, you know what? Let me edit your book. Right. Like I just felt God saying, edit her book. So let me edit your book. I'd never done that before, Nick, like ever. It wasn't like on my radar. It wasn't, hey, this is something I aspire to do. But I helped her with
Yep.
the book. Right. Another friend comes up and she's like, I have a story too. Helped her with her book. And she's like, "Giselle, you have to do this. This is what you were meant to do. Like, you're really good at it." And I have this passion, Nick, for people sharing their stories. I love when
Mhm.
people share their stories. I loved hearing your
Me too.
story, right? And
Mhm.
so for me, it was a matter of I want people to share their stories because stories empower other people. They encourage them and they move them to action. So October of 2018, I launched the business. I've been doing it ever since, and other things, but it's been amazing.
Awesome. That's so cool. You know what? I always love to hear the story of why people got started being an entrepreneur because it's always something that wasn't good, and you're like, "I'm done. Let's do my own thing." And yep, because I'm right there with you. I went through a lot and then ended up where I'm at now. So that's awesome. And writing a book, it's how hard. Like it
It
is.
is.
I'm kind of working on like my book. I call it my book because it's gonna be my life story. I do have a few other little books that I've written over the years. My first book, it was a challenge that my accountability group did, where we challenged each other to do something really hard in the next 7 days. And what I chose was to write a book. So I wrote a 47 page book, basically an ebook, but I have a little copy behind me. But 47 pages in 7 days, and that was from start to finish. Like writing it, editing it, and getting it on Amazon was all in 7 days. And that was a push, but we did it. And I remember we put it out there, and it was me and my best friend doing it. So like I'm the grammar person. I'm pretty good at that. So I proofread my own book. I don't recommend that to anyone because in your mind, you know what it should say, and your eyes don't see the mistakes.
Right.
So, like a month later, I got mine in the mail, and then like a month after that, I finally read it again. So it was like 2 or 3 months later, and I'm sitting there
Yeah.
reading it. I was like, "There's so many mistakes in here." Like it was awful, but it was out there, and
It was
it's
out
helped a
there.
lot of people. It's
Yeah.
about motivation and building confidence, and it's really good. But yeah.
Yeah. Kudos to you because you're right, Nick. It's not easy. Like people think that, as much as we see other people putting books out, right? And we're like, oh, that's
Hmm.
amazing. They have this book and that person has that book and everybody's launching books. But what we don't understand is it's not as easy as you seeing the post on social media, right? Or getting the
No.
email that they launched their book. It's a lot of work. And you're right. I think the more as an author, right, the more you look at it over and over and over, in your mind, it sounds right, but there are things that you don't see. That's why you need another person to read through it. That's why editors exist.
Yep. Exactly. And I
But
I
cool.
love books. I mean, as you can tell behind me, I have all my books and um yeah, a lot of people don't understand that most books take years to create, and it's a long process. And when you
Yeah.
have somebody like you that knows the in and outs, knows how to get stuff done, it makes it so much easier.
Yeah, yeah, and that's the purpose, right, Nick, is you don't want to walk through an assignment by yourself, really. It makes
Hmm.
it easier when somebody's walking alongside you, right? And
Yep,
that's really
it
why I
does.
do it. I love to walk through the journey with somebody. Like when they when they come, they first come and say, "Hey, I want to write a book," and I get to see the whole process of how it's happening, all the way to when they get the box of books. It's amazing, and I love it when somebody gets their books and I'm like, "Take a picture or a video and show me." That's, like, exciting to me, right? Because the book is in your heart and all of a sudden it's in your hand.
Mhm. Yeah. I remember when I received mine in the mail, I opened it up and I was like, "This is so cool." Like, even though it's just a little tiny book, but it was so cool.
Right.
It was.
But that is cool. Did you take a picture?
Yeah, yeah, I got one. Oh, yeah, of course. And I have a picture of me on the back of the book, so I turned it around, took a picture like that too.
I love
So,
it.
yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I love it, I love it, I'm gonna have to get it.
So, when somebody is thinking about writing a book, what is, like, the first couple of steps that you recommend?
Well, that's a great question. I just had actually a session with somebody yesterday, and one of the first thing I said was outlines do help, even though they're not necessary for all books. I'm not a person who says, "Hey, every single book should have an outline." It really is a matter of how the person and how they operate, and also the type of
Mhm,
book that you're writing. So not all books require an outline, but if you know you're somebody who your thoughts can go all over the place and you really kind of need the organization part, and then the type of book, it has a lot of content. I would say use an outline, right? First, build your outline out just with some points. What do you want to talk about? What are some key things that you want the reader to know? Um, Stories maybe that you want to share, or if it's, something that you are giving instruction to, then, you want to write those points down. The next thing is just write. Once you're done with your outline, set it, but just write. Just write, no editing. That's the first thing I always say, no editing, because editing stops the flow. And that's what writing is. It's about a flow. It's about you continuously getting these downloads, these thoughts, these ideas, and you want to put them out onto a Word doc or Google Doc, whatever your preference is. But you just write, no editing. That's what I would say.
I love that, that's awesome. And, I feel like some people get hung up because they're like, "I don't write, but I want a book." Well, I don't write either. And a cool thing that I think you'll respect this is one of my clients, he also wants to write a book about his life, and as do I. So what we did is we started a podcast together where it's just me and him, and we were doing it every week for a while, but we haven't for a while, but we're gonna get back into it. But every week we just get on the podcast and we just talk about our past. Just tell stories from our past. And then we're gonna get like 50 episodes or 100, and then we're gonna take the transcript from that and use that to write our book.
Well, that's good. Yeah, absolutely. You
Yeah.
can absolutely do that. I tell people, there's different ways, right? You can do that's a great idea. That's a great idea. And I want to go back to what you said about a lot of people say they're not writers. And you yourself, right, Nick, are like, I'm not a writer. But here's the thing, and I want to make sure that this helps somebody. Just because you're not a writer doesn't mean you can't be an author. There's a
Hmm.
difference,
Exactly.
right? Just
Yep.
because you're not a writer. A lot of writers aren't authors. They just write. And a lot of authors are not writers. It is okay. Right? So if you
Yep.
have a
It is.
story, something Nick gave a great example of just, using those transcripts, right? The transcription. You can also do there's like software, right? That's talk to text. And you can do
Yep.
that. If you can, there's so many. What I love, Nick, with technology is there's so many avenues to be able to write your book. At the end of the day, it
Yep.
just has to be you, your story, because only you can tell your story.
Yep. That's so true. I love the advice. Thank you. And for the people listening, I'm sure they're right now. They're like, "All right, I gotta talk to Giselle about writing my book." So for those people out there, how can they get a hold of you?
Yeah, I am on I'm so on social media quite a bit.
Yep.
So you can definitely look me up by my name or ReadyWriter Services LLC on social media as well, on Facebook or Instagram. And or you can email me it's info at ReadyWriterServicesLLC.com. So I would say social media is probably the easiest way, but you can always email me. Absolutely.
Yep. That's awesome. Thank you. And then my slogan is your abilities are infinite. What does that mean to you?
Oh, I love that slogan. Your abilities are infinite. To me, it means there is nothing that you cannot do when your heart is on it. Like when your heart is in whatever that is, right? When your heart is in whatever that is, there is not an obstacle or a challenge that you cannot overcome, right? There's nothing that you can't do that I told you last when we met, I said, Nick, you to me, you're a huge inspiration, right? You make me
Thank you.
see that my yes, that my small obstacles or inabilities that I think that I have created in my mind, it's nothing, right? And I can surpass. Like you to me are a great example of how we all can overcome anything that we deem to be an inability, right? Or that others look at us and think are an inability because there are other people who put that
Yep.
on us, right?
Oh
But
yeah, that's
we
for
can
sure.
surpass that. Yes, yes. So we can surpass that. We don't have to limit ourselves by what others deem as an inability. And so we have that ability to just keep going and surpass it. And when our heart is in it, we're limitless.
I love that so much. And I love this I love this saying, if your why is big enough, the how will reveal itself. And
Yeah.
it's so true. And I love that you touched on don't let others dictate what you can or cannot do. Like that's like I think that's the thing that I've said more than anything else in my life is do not let other people tell you what you can and cannot do. It's just
Yeah,
like their limits should not affect you.
absolutely. Because at the end of the day, Nick, right? The people, they did not create us. We have one
No.
creator. They did not
Yep.
create us, right? And our
Yep.
creator knew what he was doing when he created us the way he did, how he did, in the places he did, right? With the people, our family, right? He knew all of it. Good, bad, and different, not perfect, however, but he did it and he knew why. And there's a purpose. There's people, Nick, there's people that you reach that I could never, right? And there's a reason for it. And that is a beautiful thing. And so when we understand that we're called by the creator and not by the people around us, we can do all things through him.
Yep. I agree. Just don't let people limit you. For me, the doctor said that I would never walk, and they said that I might not talk. Well, look at me. I have a podcast. I walk every day.
You're like, I do this for a living. How about that?
Yeah, exactly. It's like, "Oh, look, I get paid to talk, and you said that I could
Right.
never
I get
talk.
paid to talk.
Interesting." Yeah. Yeah, and, for years, I got paid to drive, and, again,
Oh,
they said that I could not get my license, but I did that, so I guess through my life, I've always enjoyed it when people tell me I can't do something because then I do whatever it takes to prove them wrong every
yeah.
time, you know?
I love that. You use the inability, right? You use the inability for impact and income. And that, right? That's dope.
Yep. Thank you. Thank you. Well, do you have any last words of wisdom for the audience?
Ooh, last words of wisdom. I am going to say you are more capable than you know. You are stronger than you know. You have more wisdom than you know. I want to make sure that your listeners, right? Because I know that you are very much about this life, Nick, is you will not be stopped. And so when you just put your mind to what it is that you want to do, and it could be a book, it could be a business, it could be a podcast, it could be whatever that is, right? That you have on your heart to do. Everything you need is on the inside of you. So do it.
Your only limitation is yourself.
Yep. Yep. 100%.
All right, Giselle, this was so awesome. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, Nick. Thank you so much.
Of course. If you enjoyed this show, please go ahead and share it on your Instagram story and tag me in it, the Nick Yerhart. Also, go ahead and share it anywhere else that you see fit, because the only way that I can grow this is by you guys sharing it. I don't sell anything on here. I don't have any sponsors, so let's just get it out there by word of mouth and help more people. Alright, everyone, remember your abilities are infinite.